democracy is not just a process. Democracy is an aspiration.
That being said, we're getting ready to shift gears, and I want to talk about the future of progressivism. And in that conversation, I want to reach out to Professor Harvey Kaye. I'm going to get him in on the conversation very shortly. And I want you, after this, I also want you to get involved. You could join the conversation, 857-600-0518. What do you think? What do you think about what do you think about the future? What do you think about the results from tonight? Do you think Bernie Sanders has a chance of coming back? I don't know. I want to know your point. I want to know what you think. And hang on a second, guys. Seem to be having a little difficulty here connecting. Right now, I'm connecting with Professor Kaye. There we go.
Hey,
Professor Kaye, how are you today?
Look at you. You always wear a tie. I feel terrible. I'm so underdressed.
No problem. I actually have you live on the air. Yeah, sometimes I wear a tie, Professor Kaye. Sometimes I don't.
They can't see us, but we can see each other. Is that it?
Well, they can see you as soon as I click this button. So when you're ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Professor Kaye, thank you so much for joining me. I really, well, actually, let me just introduce you a little bit, and then I want you to do some introduction of yourself. For those of you who don't know Professor Kaye, he is a American historian and sociologist. He is currently the director of the Center for History and Social Change at the University of Wisconsin at Green Bay. He is author of several books, but the most recent book is the one that I've read of his, which is The Fight for the Four Freedoms. Professor Kaye, thank you so much for joining me. How are you tonight?
It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Even if I'm feeling a little unsettled by the returns, I was hoping for more than Rhode Island. Let's hope we get Connecticut for Bernie, and let's hope it's close in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
and in that sense, can I say something before we turn to the book?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know, I've been listening to you. I liked everything you said, by the way.
Thank you.
And what I want to tell people, because I assume our audience is the progressive army, right? I want to tell people that progressives don't threaten to leave the country. They don't threaten to turn their backs on politics. Real progressives remember that history is not made in a single election. Okay, that the point here is to secure as much as we can in this campaign, in hopes of sending Bernie Sanders empowered to Washington. The best scenario is he gains the nomination, but even if he doesn't gain the nomination, the fact is we send him empowered to Washington. We imagine a coalition of truly progressive senators, and those progressive senators continue to encourage us. And later, I know you want to talk about the future of progressivism, but I want to tell everyone, it burns me up when I see progressives threatening to take the marbles and go home, so to speak, if they don't win this election. I mean, people are forgetting just how far we have come in this 1 year. So please, everyone, just remember, if you're progressives, you don't act like children. I just tweeted something. Think historically, not anally. And I mean that.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit, because you have a lot of progressives who are and what would you consider them walking away, right? Because you have some progressives who just quite frankly could never see themselves supporting Hillary Clinton. It's not that they can't get their way with Bernie Sanders, so they want to walk away, but it's a moral decision for them, and they feel like they just simply can't vote for Hillary Clinton. What do you say to
I understand that if someone believes that morally they cannot, that's their prerogative. Okay. But I've seen people say, I won't live in a country where Bernie Sanders isn't president. Or I've seen remarks like, I give up, not simply on the Democratic Party, on American politics, it's all fixed. Right. You know, here's something to remember. You know, for decades upon decades, for 200 and however many years it's been since 1976, it has been the case that we have had innumerable inadequate presidents, inadequate campaigns, corrupt politics. We've excluded African Americans from part of those campaigns. The point is that democracy is not just a process. Democracy is an aspiration, and we continue the struggle. And if for some of those people it means voting green for Jill Stein, more power to them. If it means they stay inside the Democratic Party and they do everything they can to get hold of the decision making and hold of the levers of power, that's great too. But it's those folks that I see saying, "Oh, they're writing it all off." That burns me up no end.
Yeah.
Okay.